Hello and welcome back to another episode of the New Wave Nerds. This week we're going to be reviewing the recently released Jurassic World Rebirth. In the film, 5 years post-Jurassic World Dominion, an expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. The film is directed by Gareth Edwards and written by David Koepp. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, and Rupert Friend. Go ahead and let us know down in the comments what you guys thought of Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm your host, Brennan Sem. Joining me online this week is Shayde Sem. Like and subscribe down below for more nerd content and commentary. Now let's roll the intro. Begin with a brief non-spoiler review. Shayde, what did you think of Jurassic World Rebirth?
Definitely my favorite out of the four. Yeah,
This is the fourth.
This is the fourth. Definitely my favorite out of the four. Just for the fact that they definitely upped their game on the graphics, of course. They also upped their game on the casting list. I mean, we got 2 legends in here, you know.
I think it's a little early to call either of them legends. I'm not gonna lie. I like Mahershala Ali. Scarlett Johansson's not, nearly as good as him, but I wouldn't consider either of them legends yet. Personally, it's a great movie.
Anyway.
Don't get me. Mahershala Ali is great. He's great, but I don't know if he's reached legend status yet.
He's a legend as Cottonmouth. That's a legend.
I never slap it. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
We got some good actors in here. And not only that, but yeah, the cinematography was one of the key features of this film that made me like it a lot. You know, there was just so many beautiful shots, and I gotta give them credit for that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I would say that this is my favorite of the Jurassic World movies. Obviously, nothing probably ever, frankly, is going to compare to the first one. It was so unique and groundbreaking, which is ironically the type of medical breakthrough they're searching for in this movie. But it's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And like you said, I think that that's helped a lot because this feels like a very different film from the first two. And I think that that's helped by Gareth Edwards, the director, and the cinematographer who you mentioned is John Matheson. He's the guy who did the cinematography for Gladiator and I believe Logan as well. Yep, Logan, the man from Uncle, 47 Ronin. I mean, X-Men First Class. The guy, he's got some cinematography chops, if you will. And I think, I agree with you. It definitely looked really, really good, and I was pleased. I enjoyed the movie a lot more than I expected to going in.
Yeah, no, I mean, going into it, I was really nervous, just because of the other 3, you know. I mean, we've had our opinions on the other 3, so I didn't know if this was going to be any better. And I mean, some of the jokes are the same, and the coincidences that happen in this movie just remind me of the other movies, you know. And there's some action moves that the actors do that are just completely mirrored from stuff that Chris Pratt. I can't remember Chris Pratt's character's name, but
Owen Grady.
Owen Grady, like that role. Like in the other movie, like in the other video, I dig on it, and I'm like, he does this freaking role every single movie, and literally Mahershala Ali does it, and I'm like, really? I mean, come on. You know, we recognize it. We know what it is. I don't think it needs to be thrown in there. And they do that with a couple of other things, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some classic action adventure movie tropes in here. I will say, I think the low points of this movie come from the screenplay, from the writing, which is unfortunate to say because I like a lot of the work that the guy who wrote it has done. David Koepp. He obviously did the original Jurassic Park. I talked about him a lot in the My Father Before Me that I did with my dad, looking at the first Mission Impossible movie. He also wrote the screenplay for Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi one, which I didn't realize.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say
That-
more there. I was giving you room to breathe, but that was it. No, I think yeah, some of the failings definitely come from that aspect, but by and large, I agree. I think it's the best of the Jurassic worlds, and it was good enough that I do hope it makes enough money that we get to see a second one with some of the same crew. I'm curious to see um, what happens here. But that being said,
yeah,
I still maintain that as far as the Jurassic franchise goes, I think maybe they would be well served to just take a hiatus for a while until there's a big breakthrough in the CGI technology. So we can be amazed again like we were when we saw the first Jurassic Park.
until they can make another hybrid that's gonna kill everybody
Yeah,
again. You know,
definitely. Definitely.
I that's one thing about these movies that blows my mind. It's that no one learns their lesson ever.
Yeah, pretty much throughout this whole Jurassic World trilogy, it has been the same basic story concept, but just done in different ways. And I think by the time you get to four movies, it's a little bit tired. And I think it's maybe time to move on to something else. I mean, and we've talked about this a lot in our previous reviews of the Jurassic World movies. I think we would both really, really like to see a true return to form in bringing back some of the more horror aspects of the franchise.
Yeah. And practical.
Yes, yes. Which I'm pretty sure there were a few practical effects in this movie. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't off the just right off the dome. I don't think that there were more than Jurassic World Dominion. That's one thing that Dominion had in its favor is that it was pretty practical effect. I wouldn't say heavy because there's still a lot of CGI and stuff, but it was leaning more in that way.
I want them to spend the money and the time making a gigantic T-Rex again. That's what I want. But I don't know. I mean, we have the capability of making it on a laptop now, so I can see why they wouldn't want to build a massive T-Rex again. But it's just it was number one, the art aspect. I think it's very I think it's very artistic, and I give them more credit than I would a CGI artist, at all. Just for the fact that I mean, it's a sculpture, so it's really cool, and I just wish they would continue that. But I know right now with the times we're in, we're going to use CGI, and that's just kind of how it has to be. So yeah,
Yeah, and I think part of that is probably because of the fast turnaround that we see with a lot of these movies lately. For example, I just Googled it to be sure. Gareth Edwards wasn't attached to the movie until February of 2024. And production began in the latter half of 2024. So this was a fast turnaround, especially considering how long it takes for things like, well, production and post production and stuff. They weren't necessarily allowed for a lot of time to spend on things like that. And I agree. I think it would have helped the movie, would have helped it out a little bit. But I think now it's probably time that we head into the spoiler section of the review. Before we do that, I'm going to ask you all to head on over to patreon.com/newwavenerds. If you enjoy the work that we do and want to help us make these videos look and sound even better, then that is the best place to go. We have tiers going as little as $3 a month, and every little helps. We're running a patron drive where if we get to 15 new patrons or $50 a month, which is just about going to cover some of our back end fees here, then we're going to be doing a special series retrospective looking at the classic DC event Crisis on Infinite Earths. There's going to be at least probably 13 videos there, one for each issue, and then a bonus episode at the end. So we're looking at probably a minimum of 13 to 14 hours worth of content, just about a half a day. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And additionally, I think we're probably going to have, for that retrospective. We're going to be releasing most of it for free on YouTube, but there's going to be special added features available only to our patrons. So again, if you are interested in seeing that, if you want to help us make these look and sound even better, and if you like what we do, then go to patreon.com/newwavenerds. Now, Shayde, we're in the spoiler section. What is the first thing that really jumps out to you when you see this movie, or when you think of this movie?
When what's the lead, the historian guy? He had the museum.
I believe the actor is Jonathan Bailey, and the character's name is Dr. Henry Loomis.
Yeah, when he falls from that immense deadly height and lands on these massive leaves and lands in the water.
The big old palm
I,
fronds.
yeah, I was like, all right, come on, you die,
Yeah.
you dead.
That
I don't
it was
care.
a little much. Well, like you mentioned, the sort of convenience aspect of it earlier. That was definitely one of those moments where I was like, we couldn't have figured out any other way to keep this character around. It felt
I
very
know.
cartoony.
And then Mahershala Ali, like his his character is one of my favorite characters in the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World series. Like I loved him in this movie. He was great. His character was great. I mean, he's a gritty man who clearly hasn't lived a great life with some hardships. So he definitely does not care what happens to you if you piss him off. But he loves people. He loves them. So he went to go help that family, put everything out of the way, the tracking the dinosaur, getting the DNA, just to go help his family. And I love that.
Yeah, I will say, I mostly agree with what you said there, but I do have a few differences in opinion. I don't think he necessarily cares about people. I agree that, like you said, he's hardened. He's clearly done some things in his life that he's probably not very proud of, some morally ambiguous things. But I don't agree with the idea that he loves people in general. I think the reason that he turned around to go and save that family is because he saw that there was a young girl among them. There was a young child, and in his backstory, he had lost his own child. And so there was a little bit of a connection there that he sort of felt. And I think that's why he turned around. I think if it had just been the dad, the daughter, and the boyfriend, I think he wouldn't have risked it. Which, I mean,
That,
the fact that he went back for a kid is, a saving feature in its own right, but still.
yeah. Frick that guy. I mean, come on.
Dude, Xavier's the worst person. I hate that guy.
I wanted him to die so bad. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, the character. There was a moment
Okay.
in the movie where I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was a scene where it looked like he was probably going to get eaten by a dinosaur, and I looked at you and I crossed my fingers. I was hoping, I was so excited because the moment that we are introduced to him, he's such a douche, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't take over the boat. I mean, he just went to bed. He just relaxed, didn't even care, and treated the girlfriend a little bit like crap for a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the as soon as we get introduced to him, it's like, so this family is on a cross-Atlantic road trip or whatever. They're gonna sea trip. They're not on the road. They're gonna sail all the way from wherever they took off to all the way to like the Cape of South Africa or something. And you get the sense that this is like the type of thing that they've done a lot. And the dad was clearly hoping that it would just be him and his daughters. And his
Yeah.
oldest daughter brings this guy along. The dad's been piloting the boat for who knows how long. He's tired. He's stayed up for hours on end. And then this young, teenage guy comes up from below decks, and the dad's just like, "You ready to take the wheel?" And he completely ignores it. He completely ignores him. He's just like, "Oh man, I am pooped. I just took a crazy nap." And then the dad's like, "Cool, are you going to take the wheel?" And the guy goes, "I'd probably just fall asleep at it. It's probably best for you to just keep doing it." He is so rude, and he, just really does not care about anybody else.
And then what? He takes the little girl's licorice. Freaking just walks by the little girl, grabs her licorice. He's like, "Oh, is this licorice?" And that made me mad. That made me the most mad.
Just the stealing of the licorice.
Yeah,
She
I
does get
because
her
I
revenge a little later on, though, because he walks past and is like, "Hey, is there any licorice left?" And she's like, "No," because she's given it to Dolores. She's given it to some random baby dinosaur she's found.
the baby dinosaur definitely was trying to. They were trying to go for that Baby Yoda effect.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that that creature was created to sell toys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't been to Walmart for a minute, but when I go to Walmart, I'll post it on the Instagram if I see even one.
I'm sure there will be. So here's the thing: is that I don't have a problem with that so long as Dolores actually has any factor in the plot whatsoever. But it really doesn't. You know what I mean? Like you
No.
mentioned Grogu. Grogu is integral to the plot. I mean, he's the reason that the story takes place. He's all of this, and he saves the Mandalorian like a couple times. The movie is all about the bond that grows between these two people. In this, they sort of have that effect because begins the story like hating dinosaurs and being deathly afraid of them, and then at the end, she's like, "I'm taking Dolores home with me." But that's really it, and it doesn't feel like earned. Like I said, it would have been one thing if she had shoved Dolores aside, and then maybe Dolores comes back and alerts them to the fact that there's a predator lurking around. But no, she just is just running around and gets picked up and stuff.
Well, what were you telling me about what's gonna happen to Dolores when she gets back to America?
Oh yeah, dude. They begin the story by saying that all of the dinosaurs that aren't in like the equatorial regions have died because the climate is just not the same as it was 35 million years ago or whatever. And this little girl is like, "You know what? I'm going to take this dinosaur back with me." And the dad's like, "Cool. That thing is going to be dead within a month. It's
Yeah,
not going to
it's
be able to survive. She's going to have like it's basically the equivalent of getting a puppy, but the dad knows that the puppy has like a congenital disease or something, like a heart problem that's gonna make it die in a couple months. And he's just like, "Yeah, cool, go ahead, get attached."
yeah. I mean, Dolores could have done something.
I
I
can't hear a
honestly.
word you're saying right now.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Talk again.
Hello?
Okay, talk again.
Hello?
There we go. All right, go ahead and restart what you're gonna say. We'll have to cut that out, obviously.
While I was watching that, I kind of thought maybe Dolores would like, follow the little girl, but then Dolores's mother would get angry and, we'd have a whole chase scene, maybe just a little terrifying scene, and then, the dad, he's like puts his hand on the mom's snout, and then now like later on in the movie the mom comes along and saves the day, something like that. But that didn't happen at all. No, Dolores like was literally just in a book bag, sometimes running away.
Yeah, she was like the map from Dora the Explorer.
Except the map does something.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
The
Dolores,
map.
yeah, really doesn't do anything. In fact, Dolores actually almost gets them killed a couple times.
Yeah, she does, dude. You That reminded me of a scene I loved. The scene where they're in the raft and there's the T-Rex chasing them.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool, and I liked. We talked about this beforehand, or not beforehand, but after we had seen the movie, where I liked the scene where the oldest daughter, whose name is Nina, I think, is that the right character? I don't know.
I
I
think
can't
so.
remember it being said like a single time in the movie. I spent the whole movie being like, "What is this character's name?" Well, because I thought, oh no, Teresa. Who the heck is Nina?
Was Nina that one girl who was part of the crew that dies?
Yep, that's right. You're right. Yep, that was Nina. So
Yeah,
Teresa is the.
sorry.
Go ahead.
She was cool.
Oh, really? That was. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I mean, she just the thing is like all of the other crew except for like Mahershala Ali and obviously the people we met in the very beginning. None of them ever really got anything to do or any real development. So the second we saw them and we got to the island, I was like, okay, these are the people that are going to die. And
Yeah,
lo and behold,
yeah,
I would have liked. That's one thing that I think is missing from a lot of modern blockbusters and stuff like this is there's really no feeling of stakes. Um,
yeah.
there's never really a worry that any of the main people are going to die, except for Mahershala Ali, who ends up just walking out of it for some reason that's never explained.
Yeah, okay, so what I was thinking in the theater when that went down is so the dinosaur, like after that all happened, when they find Mahershala Ali, I was trying to think of what might happen. The dinosaur like yelled, like screeched a little, like it did its thing. I'm thinking Mahershala Ali maybe like threw that flare into the dinosaur's mouth and that gave him time to run, you
Well,
know?
yeah, I mean that has to be what happened because when we're on the raft with Scarlett Johansson and the rest of the crew, we see the flare go out. But
Yeah.
again, that's one of those things where it's like, if that's what you're gonna do, one, it's a classic Jurassic World thing. It's just a classic trope. We see it in like basically every movie. But two, if you're gonna do that, then we should probably see it rather than just see him seemingly get eaten by the thing and then appear in the middle of the bay like a couple minutes later, completely unscathed, like nothing ever happened. He
See,
should have
that's what
died there.
yeah, like you said this in the car, but that was a good death. He
Yeah,
saved their lives.
yeah, it's the same thing that I talked about, like in Jurassic World Dominion. I think Jeff Goldblum should have been eaten by the dinosaur because then he has that moment of self-sacrifice, which shows that he has actually grown as a person and isn't the selfish guy that he always appears to be. Um, but in this, it's different because one, Mahershala Ali isn't really selfish, but you can tell like I mentioned earlier, the reason that he goes after the kids and the reason that he cares about that family is because he sympathizes with them because he lost his own kid. It would have been a really impactful moment for him to give his own life so one, these kids could go, and live their own life. But also two, it would have been a nice moment because it would have been the kind of thing where it's like he gets the ending that he deserves because he's finally going to get to see his kid again. But instead, yeah, he just appears in a lake and is floating.
One thing that really frustrated me about this movie was I wouldn't say the laziness, but the inefficiency to make the big bad dinosaur of the movie actually look terrifying and not goofy. A little goofy and silly. Because with this one, he has just this big bone skull thing right here with two T-Rex arms coming out of the chest, and then his other arms, which are just ginormous, of course, so they can stable his body, you know. And it looked really ridiculous. And also the face was just I mean, it looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I didn't like the design of the dinosaur either. It wasn't great. I'm not going to say, yeah, I wouldn't say laziness or inefficiency. Those are definitely not words that I would use. I just don't like the design choice that they went with. They were trying to lean super far into the fact that, like, they established early on that this is the island where they genetically modified the dinosaurs to make them look scarier, the ones that we had seen in all of the other movies. And so because of that, they were really trying to lean into the fact that this main big bad was one of the dinosaurs that got left behind, I guess, one of the ones that it came out looking too weird, so they didn't want to show it on the island. And because of that, yeah, it looks psychotic. I hate the design of it. I don't think it's, like you said, I don't think it's really scary. I don't think it looks so far from a dinosaur that I think it loses the point. Um, like we mentioned before, or not before, but when we watched the movie, it was before now, but not before we were recording or earlier in the video. Um, it looks very much like the monster from Cloverfield. It just doesn't look like a dinosaur really all that much. And so because of that, I feel like it lost the impact.
Yeah, it mainly looks. Yeah, I mean, it looks like your basic kaiju, maybe a little smaller than a kaiju, pretty small, way
Yeah,
smaller
I
than
mean,
a
it's just a
kaiju.
dinosaur sized, but yeah, I get the point of what you're saying.
Yeah, like an if I asked AI to make me an anime kaiju, I, I think that's what it would give me,
It
something like that.
it looks like something that might be in place. It might look right in, say, like a Godzilla movie, which
Yeah,
understandable because Gareth Edwards is the guy who directed the 2014 Godzilla reboot. Um,
God,
but yeah, I don't like the design of it. It was definitely weird. And I respect the fact that it is the monster that we see in the opening scene. But yeah, it really played no role in the movie except for that opening scene and then the final like 15 minutes of the movie, basically.
one thing that I'm really happy about with this movie though is the fact that they do not bring back any old characters at all. Like I don't think there was a single character in this movie that has been in a Jurassic Park movie or another Jurassic World movie. And I mean, I didn't think that they would bring back like the original three or Owen Grady. But in my mind, maybe Bryce, you know, or the Raptor guy who's a CIA operative or some.
Oh,
What it was a CIA. Was it
the
CIA?
French
I can't remember.
intelligence guy, the
French
guy who worked
intelligence.
with
So
Owen in the first one. Yeah, I could have seen that. I think there there's probably a cut of this movie where they had a scene where they went and talked to Claire to get the lowdown on the place that they're going to be going. But I
yeah.
agree with you. I'm glad that they didn't do that. I think the most mention that we get of any of the previous cast is somebody, the doctor, Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan
Uh,
Bailey. He name drops that he interned with Alan Grant or something, but that's really the extent of it. And I do agree. I think that was probably a smart choice.
um, I think the usage of the Ajax actor, the Ajax actor from Deadpool. He was the blonde like
Ed
a-hole that
Skrein
was on
is
the.
the actor's name.
Okay, yeah, him. I thought it was really really fun how he died. He's our first to go. I mean, it was because I'm pretty sure what was he doing? He was shooting at the dinosaur, and then it just comes by and chomps him off that boat.
Yeah, and that scene where that happens is pretty fun, where he's like holding onto the door, and we don't actually see the dinosaur get him at first. That was a fun scene. I don't have any affiliation or anything with that actor Ed Skrein. I think he's fine. I didn't really like or hate his character in this. I mean, he fit with sort of the mentality of this crew that you get, that he's a hired gun, and so he's just willing to shoot anything that sort of comes at them. Um, but yeah, like most of the other crew that aren't the main people. I really didn't care about them. They didn't
Yeah.
have any time to actually really do anything or grow on me, and so when they died, I was just like, yeah, that was expected. Like we were talking about earlier, when they died, there was no emotion, and the closest that you get to that in this movie is the scene where Mahershala Ali almost dies, but then gets out. But everybody else is chill, is fine, except for Rupert Friend, who is obviously like the main villain of the movie, and so of course he has to die.
Now let's talk about the big bad human of this movie. What was his name?
Rupert Friend, the guy that I just mentioned,
Yep, that guy. Shoot, I was like,
the guy that I
yeah.
just tried to smoothly transition into talking about. Yeah, thanks for picking up on the segue.
Hey, at least we had the same idea. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was an all right villain. I kind of liked him. I liked him better than our Dominion villain and our Fallen Kingdom villain. Of course, I love our original Jurassic World villain. I mean, that's Vincent D.
Yeah, Vinny
But
D.
this villain was very fun. When the movie first started, I thought in my head, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know Orlando Bloom was in this movie." And then as time went on, it didn't look like Orlando Bloom, and I was like, "Okay, it's not Orlando Bloom."
Yeah, no,
But
I like Rupert Friend. Actually, I like Rupert Friend a lot more than I like Orlando Bloom. I don't think Orlando Bloom is really a great actor at all. He has like
What?
6 lines in the Lord of the Rings movie. That's like his only role that he's ever done, and he has like 6 lines.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You're forgetting about Pirates of the Caribbean.
I didn't forget a thing. Yeah, no, he's bad in those too.
No, he's not. He's like one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Well, just because
Besides,
he's one of your favorites doesn't mean he's good. I'm just gonna
he's
say
one
it
of
right
my
here. No, I
shoot.
like Rupert Friend. I think he's pretty good. I would definitely like to see I would like to see Rupert Friend in more stuff. I really don't care about Orlando Bloom.
I think the did he play Hitman in Hitman?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
I didn't see that one, to be honest with you. He's
I
yeah, he was Agent 47 in the 2015 remake. Or
pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's all I have for him.
yeah, he is fun. I like him. He was no, you know him from something else. He was also the Grand Inquisitor in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh shoot.
The
Okay.
one that looks
So
literally nothing like the animation.
yeah, no, not at all. They really messed out with him. But he played a really good role in that though. Still,
I mean, he was fine enough. I haven't seen that show in I haven't seen it recently enough to really comment on it. I know that I vaguely remember him being in it, but he's definitely not the main character, the main villain. I kind of watch that show again. I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
Sequoia is in love with that show.
He's a
She watched that. Oh,
I was just gonna say he doesn't have a major role in it, but he's also pretty good in the Phoenician Scheme, which is a decent movie. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson guy. I don't like the super symmetrical stuff.
still shots.
Yeah, he was also good. There was he Wes Anderson did a series of short films for Netflix based off of like a bunch of Roald Dahl stories, and one of them is The Rat Catcher, and I really like that one.
I see. Yeah. Man. I want to see Astro City. Is that what it's called?
Asteroid. Astro City is the name of a great independent comic book series by one of the greatest comic book authors ever, Kurt Busiek.
Preach.
Astro City is really good, Jade. If you haven't read it, you are missing out.
That sounds cool. The name's cool.
It is.
But
It's
yeah,
good.
yeah. I heard that one was really good. So
Yeah, I mean, when it was first announced, I really wanted to watch it, but yeah, I understand that he is really incredible, and a lot of people really like it, but I can't stand his filmmaking.
yeah, it's very creepy and eerie. Even though it's not supposed to be a horror movie or a thriller.
Well, yeah, it's the symmetry because like that's not how life is. Like life is not symmetrical. It doesn't look symmetrical, and so every time you look at a frame, you're like, "Oh man, this looks really good." But there's also, yeah, like you said, that level of there's a sort of uncanny valley almost. But like I said, I mean, he's a tremendous one of the arguably one of the better filmmakers of the time. I can acknowledge the fact that he is great and also not like any of his stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Wes Anderson, everybody, gotta love him
I don't.
sometimes.
I
I
don't.
mean,
I mean, if you do, go right ahead. That's 100% okay. But yeah, I don't. He's one of those directors where if I see he's attached to a movie, um, I'm not gonna spend $12 to go see it in theaters. I'll wait till it's on streaming, and even then, I'll probably slow walk it.
I think he has a new movie coming out soon. Pretty sure.
Not according to IMDb, but that's not the end all be all.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
I'm just
forgot.
saying.
Shoot, no, yeah, I don't know. Wes Anderson, he's a guy. I gotta. There's one with Bill Murray that I really want to watch. Something Ocean something. I know it's Bill Murray and Willem Dafoe, so that's fun.
Bill
That's a
Murray
fun.
and Willem Ocean something.
Yeah, yeah. It's about them in like a submarine. Um, and I see it
Um,
all, and I mean, it looks fun. The scenes that I see all the time look fun.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything called Ocean.
No, I maybe it's not ocean. Maybe it's like submarine something.
Um, Man, I don't
Everyone that
know.
Everyone who loves this movie is gonna be furious right now watching this.
I mean, I looked.
Yelling.
I have no idea, man. This is this is really confusing me, and now I'm not going to be able to find anything else. So I googled Wes Anderson, Bill Murray, and so far nothing. Are you talking about The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou? Is he in that? Bill Murray, I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. The Life Aquatic. Are they wearing red beanies?
I don't know. Um,
If they're wearing red beanies, then yeah.
I can't type the word life for some reason right now. Um, there's a red beanie, yeah. I wouldn't
Yep,
say
yep,
there's
yep.
one. No, no, there's two. No, okay. In the poster, Bill Murray is wearing one, but yeah, not in the trailer for some reason. Okay, yeah.
Wild
I've
tangent right
actually
there.
heard of this, but the ocean something. All right, yeah. You were
It
close
was,
enough, I guess. The
I was about to
aquatic
say,
is vaguely related to the ocean.
I was close. I still got Bill Murray and Burr Murray. I still got Bill Murray and Willem Dafoe, right? So come
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is
what?
like five people down the cast list, but yeah.
Um,
Anyways,
one of my favorite scenes in the new Jurassic World movie is when they go to the museum to pick up the historian guy. God dang.
he's not a
Yeah.
historian. He's an
Oh,
archaeologist. Bro, he's a dinosaur doctor. He's an archaeologist, not a
sounds like a.
historian. You said it like three times and I let it go the first couple times, but come on.
Man, you should have corrected me. I look like an idiot now.
Now?
Yeah. Um. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they're in there and they break the news to him that he's gonna have to go with, and he's freaking out. So they're like, all right, we're gonna give you some time just to calm down. They're sitting right across from each other just quietly, and he just starts crunching on these mints,
Yeah,
and
he just eats an
happens,
Altoid.
it happens for like so long, and that was so funny. That was some good comedy.
Yeah, but that's well, it was fine comedy. It was it was, whatever. It went on for a little too long, I think.
My
In
friend,
my personal opinion. But that's one thing that's weird given like his arc throughout the rest of the movie is that like, once we get to the island, he's basically Indiana Jones. He's ready to
yeah,
get hiking on this island. I mean, he's climbing up mountains and he's got a few moments where he's like, whoa, but mostly he's just chill with it. And so it's like it's a little weird that in the beginning he was like, "We're going to this." It's the same.
yeah.
He sort of has he vacillates back and forth between the type of guy that you would expect to jump at this and being the classic fish out of water character.
Yeah, I mean, besides Mahershala Ali, he was definitely my second favorite character. I loved his character. His like, I like that he was very nerdy, I guess, very geeky, and he kept it that way. He
Hmm.
didn't become like a hardened core bad A at the end of it all. You know, he was just still a geek, still a nerd, still loved dinosaurs. He cried. He touched a dinosaur and he cried, which is okay. I would. But like that just shows his spirit for these animals, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Reptiles.
I liked Henry Loomis more than I liked Mahershala Ali, just because
Really?
I think if Mahershala Ali had died, I would like him a lot more. But the thing is, his story is not very satisfying in the end.
Yeah. Well, what was he? I mean, like he had the opportunity to get out of there, so
Yeah, but
he
he
wasn't just
shouldn't
gonna.
have had the opportunity, in my opinion. This is what we're talking about with like stakes, is that once you get to that point of the movie, you're again, this is the same problem I have with Jurassic World Dominion. Literally everybody gets out of that. Now in Jurassic World Dominion, even the characters that have like three lines throughout the whole thing make it through. At least in this, the characters who have three lines die, but all of the main people get out.
I want to talk about my favorite death of the movie, and it has to be yours too, 'cause you loved it. It was when they're at that Aztec temple or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
structure thing, and it's these huge flying birds, you know, and or not birds,
They're
dinosaurs. But
dinosaurs, yeah.
they're not pterodactyls.
No, they're
You
like
know,
it's Quetzalcoatlus or something like that.
yeah, because you know, there's like new species on this island due to, wasn't it due to the lab and stuff? Them just making new different types of dinosaurs again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I don't remember them explicitly saying that, but it's pretty heavily implied. I mean, it's implied that every dinosaur on this island is a genetically modified one.
Yeah, well, they look genetically modified, you know. But it like takes it. So they're in this little temple thingy, Aztec temple thingy. This is one of those Indiana Jones moments, you know, where we're just like, all right, this is an adventure movie for sure. And they're in there. They're trying to get the samples from these bird eggs or these eggs, and they get the sample, but Mama comes home and she sees all of them, starts attacking the two characters that are in there, and the third character is still hanging on a rope or on the pulley system. And basically, you know, he's getting pulled up as fast as he can from by Mahershala Ali to get up to the top of the cliff so he doesn't get eaten. And it's all cloudy and foggy. We get to the top. Mahershala Ali's pulling, he's tugging, and inevitably, like the dinosaur, like
Sorry, I didn't mean to
pop.
laugh, but that was just a funny way to describe that.
Oh yeah, shoot, dude, pause. And the dinosaur comes in through the clouds, and it's like the limp body's just hanging out of the mouth, and you know Mahershala Ali's still pulling it and stuff. It was some gruesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good scene. And but
Yeah.
I don't think that's the one where he came out of the clouds. I think he was just like climbing up the mountain. And
Oh,
so as they were pulling him up, they revealed that it was still coming up, but he was in the mouth of the dinosaur. I could be wrong, but I think that's that one because I think they used the clouds specifically for a dinosaur later on, where the this must have been the D-Rex, the one that kind of looks like the Cloverfield monster, has got the helicopter in its mouth, and they see the spotlight in the
oh yeah,
smoke, and then it comes forward and reveals that it's been just munched on. I like that scene.
that was cool. That was pretty cool. Watching
Yeah.
that dinosaur run though looks stupid.
Well,
It's just like
yeah.
it had them hanging here and then it had beefy arms. Like it looks really dope.
Yeah, yeah, I was not a big fan of the design of it. I feel like that was. I understand what you're going for, but to me, that seems like a slight misunderstanding of like why people come to Jurassic movies. I think we come to see dinosaurs, not to see, like you said, kaiju monsters. Um, but again, I understand the impulse because it is, you know, hitting home the whole point of this island and all the stuff that they're seeing. But it definitely was way too over the top for me. Um,
Um,
Go ahead.
a character design or a dinosaur design that I really liked was for those long neck dinosaurs, those really long neck dinosaurs. They had a tail that just was so long and it stayed in the air, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, those the design for those was pretty cool. Yeah, I can't find out what those were called fast enough. Titanosaurus.
Titanosaurus. That has a cool name. It's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, but I don't. Pretty sure that's already a dinosaur. Like they didn't come up with anything new. I don't think. I
Oh,
think all of the dinosaurs. They're. It's not like they. I think the only one that they explicitly made up was the D Rex, which and even that I could be wrong about. But like the Quetzalcoatlus, the Mosasaur, um, the Titanosaurus, those are all existing dinosaurs. I think the fact is that they're the same breed and species of dinosaurs we knew about, but they just been genetically altered to look cooler, quote unquote.
yeah, yeah. Well, one of my favorite lines in the Jurassic World series is I'm pretty sure it's the first movie and what's his name? It's the doctor who works on the dinosaurs.
In what movie? Oh, in all of
Jurassic
them?
Yeah, I mean, and he was in the first one too, but he was a
Yeah,
lot younger.
Dr. Henry Wu.
Yeah, Henry Wu. He's talking to the guy that flies the helicopter
Oh
that
my
crashes.
god. In the first Jurassic World?
yeah, and he's like, uh,
Pretty sure it's Mazrani. I don't know. Let me check.
they're having a conversation about what's going on and what the heck they created in that lab and stuff. And Henry was like, you asked me, you came to me and you said you want a monster, right? Or so, you want something scary, big,
Bigger, more
and
teeth. Yeah, something
more
to draw
teeth.
people in.
I love that scene so much.
Are we talking about?
That
We're
was
talking about the old Jurassic World.
the first one, yeah.
We don't have to talk about that now. We already did a whole review on that.
Well, I don't know. I
You
thought
know what I
about it.
mean? I know. I had to, yeah. We just yeah. Anyways, do you have any final thoughts about Jurassic World Rebirth? We're coming. We're coming up on time. That's why I'm saying it. This is
Yeah.
like when we were trying to do one of the other ones, and you were talking about Spider-Man 3, and I was like, I don't
He,
care.
I don't
That
care. I don't
joke is an
care.
inside joke for just you and me because nobody
Oh
saw
yeah.
that edit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
Well, okay,
final thoughts for Jurassic World
final,
Rebirth?
final thoughts. Better than the rest in my opinion. Very close tie with the first though, but still beats it by a little bit. I thought that, they definitely upgraded on the look of the film and the CGI. Dialogue here and there, wasn't fantastic at times, but that's just Jurassic World, I guess. Um, Characters were great. So yeah, I mean, in all, I'd say 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it close to the same rating. Maybe a 6.5 or even closer to a 7. Because like I said, go ahead.
No, you go.
Nope, you already started. Go ahead.
All
That's
right.
fine. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was real close to a 7. It's very tough though, I don't know. There's a lot of flaws with this movie still.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that. I think it's probably not a full 7 for me, but it's as close as it can be. Um, I agree with you. It's my favorite of the Jurassic Worlds. I think it looks the best easily.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, I think all of the, not all, but most of the problems with it are from the script, which is just not amazing, to be honest with you. It's not the best. Like you mentioned, there's lots of coincidences. There's some dialogue choices that are kind of annoying. There's some characters that I don't like. As far as dialogue goes, there's one specific moment that I told you about when we were driving home after we saw it that really irritated me. It's when the doctor, and I think Mahershala Ali is there too, when they're in the lab where they genetically modified the dinosaurs, and they look at a tank and they see a dinosaur with like two heads, and Dr. Loomis goes, "This is where it happened." Or he either says, "This is where it happened," or "This is where it started." And I was like, well, yeah. I think we can put two and two together there. The fact that there's a dinosaur in a tube with two heads, I think we get it. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it needed to be spelled out quite so much.
They
Um,
shouldn't have revealed that right away in the movie.
Yep, they should have held on to that reveal until that scene when he's in the lab and he sees the two-headed dinosaur. It should have been the type of thing where they think they're going to a regular island with dinosaurs, and then they start seeing some ones like Dr. Henry Loomis is like, "This Titanosaurus has got a really long tail." He's or says something like, "That T-Rex is colored differently." Like noticing little things that most people wouldn't recognize, but he's starting to question. And then halfway through or at the end of the second act or something, they learn, oh, this is where all of the genetically modified dinosaurs are. And then maybe it would have been more interest. I still wouldn't like the design, but then maybe it would have been more interesting to see the D-Rex.
I'm really sorry, but there's one thing that, like, it's the one thing that really made me mad about this movie that I talked to you about, and just got to bring it up. They used promotional material as the reason why this all started because a Snickers wrapper gets into the air ducts and destroys the door, and that's why the D-Rex got out.
Well,
And they
you're not you when you're hungry. Maybe if the D-Rex had been able to eat the Snickers, we could have avoided this whole thing.
That is true. That is true.
So it's either a terrible Snickers ad or the best Snickers ad there could have ever been.
Hey, that is a fair point.
Also, that dude, come on, man. Like, you're gonna go into this room with a dinosaur and you're gonna eat a Snickers right up until the last minute? Do it on your
You're just
break.
you're gonna throw it on the floor?
I think he dropped it. I don't think he threw it.
Oh,
I think he dropped it. But still, litterer. Look,
yeah,
if I've got a
exactly.
Snickers bar in my mouth and it's still wrapped and the wrapper falls off, I'm gonna see it. And I'm gonna be like, oh man, I should pick that up.
You might even be able to hear it.
Yeah,
Well, he
maybe.
had a hell.
But I don't know because they were still communicating because they had to do the 3, 2, 1 to open the door and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
also the implication by the fact that they're wearing suits is that it's supposed to be like probably a controlled environment. Like it's supposed to be a quote unquote clean room, and this guy's just eating a Snickers.
yeah. I don't understand why they went that route. It's on every Jurassic World video we do, and it's that the first scene of the Jurassic World film before we get the title card, it has to be just hands down all horror and scary, and it's got to be great. That's the scene that has to impact me right away. And they did not do that. It was silly and campy, and I didn't like it. It was,
Well, so I
yeah,
mean, this is where I disagreed with you when we talked about it after the movie. I think the opening scene is fine. I agree with you that I think it went on too long, and if it had been shortened, then it probably would have impacted a little bit more. But the scene where the containment is breached, apart from the fact that it's because of a Snickers wrapper, which, like you say, is inherently campy and hokey, the scene where the containment gets breached and there's the red light and the red smoke, and we just see this guy which he caused it all, so it makes sense that he gets eaten. But we just see him get sucked away by the outline of the D Rex. I think that's a good scene. I think it went on too long, and because there was so much build up to it, I think it lost the impact. But I think it's better than the scene in like Dominion.
yeah. Dominions was not good. Not great.
But yeah, I
Well,
think go ahead.
rock paper scissors. No.
No, go ahead because
Well,
I was gonna end the video.
oh shoot, sorry.
You don't know what you were
God,
gonna say. I hate you
no,
so much,
forgot.
dude. All right. I think that's where we're gonna end it. I was gonna say stay tuned to the socials to see if you can if you can learn what Shade was gonna say. Maybe he'll remember, but he doesn't use any of the socials. So I think we're gonna leave it there.
I use Instagram.
You have
All right.
posted once to the story in like 3 months, and it was when Doctor Doom died. And you
That
said a
was
statement that I really don't agree with. You were like, you said, who needs RDJ? This is Doctor Doom. And I was like, well, he wasn't that great as Doctor Doom.
hey man, he is Doctor Doom.
Because
He's our
he's the,
childhood.
the only one we've had, but it's not like he did great in the role. It's not
Yeah.
like he gave a Hugh Jackman as Wolverine type performance where it's like hard to find somebody else in that role.
Man, I thought maybe he would be in Doomsday. He could be still in Doomsday.
Well, yeah, I mean they were filming they were filming at least parts of it before Thunderbolts was released because the post credit scene from that is from the set of Doomsday. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, probably not. I doubt they would want to bring him back anyways because I would honestly be surprised if they bring back any of the original Fantastic Four. There have been rumors that like Jessica Alba was seen on set, but I would be surprised because I don't think that it's not like the Spider-Man movies, not like the Sam Raimi ones or the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Like there's not really as much nostalgia with the Fox Fantastic Four.
There is for me. My heart.
Well, yeah, but you're not exactly the target audience.
Alrighty.
All right. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave it there. Finally, I've been trying to end this episode for like 10 minutes. But I think that's where we're gonna leave it. Comment down below, let us know what you thought of Jurassic World Rebirth. If you agree that it's the best of the Jurassic World series, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
That's probably a good
Tell,
way to say that, I guess, but I don't know. In any
tell us what you
case,
like about it, and then if you don't like it, tell us your favorite. Let's talk about it.
their favorite Jurassic Park movie?
Just them all. Which one? I out of both.
Well, look, let's be honest. If your favorite Jurassic movie isn't the first one, then you're wrong.
Three is good, and I stand by that.
Yeah, but you think Terminator Salvation is good. All right. That's my favorite response to any time you say a movie is good that I don't like.
They attack the point where they're in the future and stay on that point for the whole movie, and Christian Bale's in it. Okay, that's
Yeah,
some
well,
good stuff.
Christian Bale's also in Thor: Love and Thunder.
But he did amazing as Gore.
Yeah, but that movie's not good.
It was when I was fresh out the theater.
All right. I'm kidding. I haven't seen Jurassic World 3 in a long time. It's probably better than I remember, but yeah, I don't remember liking it. To be honest with you, the only Jurassic movie that has ever actually I've been like this is a good movie is the first one. But like I said, it's been a while since I've seen the second and third. Maybe they hold up somewhat. I don't know. I don't remember liking them, and it's my opinion, and because of that, whatever. Go suck it.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to end the video
Whoa.
here. Again, yes, comment down below. Like and subscribe for more nerd content and commentary. Let me see, what have we got on the schedule? I believe this Thursday, I'm going to be taking a look at the the most recent volume of the ongoing Joshua Williamson Superman series, Rise of the Superwoman. This is the first one in the All In initiative. And again, if you have been paying attention to my Superman reviews for comics up until this point, you probably already know how I'm going to feel about this one. But I think it's a great jumping on point. If you're interested in reading Superman, I think it's a good one to pick up and jump right in. And then next Tuesday, 1 week from now, the wait is finally over. It's time
coming.
to see how we feel about the new Superman movie.
Yes. I'm so excited, people. Holy
Yes.
crap.
I'm so excited, and I'm also so nervous, but I'm nervous because I'm excited. It's a wild ride. I can't wait to see if this is something that I'm going to love or if it's something that's going to make me mad. There's plenty of time. I think, like we mentioned before, there's some continuity errors because we already recorded a review that's going to go live after Superman. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, make sure that you hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss any of those episodes. And I will see you guys back here on Thursday.